Hey, it's Jake.
And Nick.
We're going to sit down and talk a little bit about the True Grit Gravel Race. All right, Nick. So, how did that go?
It was good. I was pretty stoked on my result. After I saw the start list that they posted, it was a pretty stacked field. A lot of hitters there in the gravel scene, some new, some old. 5 Rodeo Labs guys who are all super strong. So yeah, I ended up second. I lost to Ryan Standish. He's a younger Australian mountain bike racer, dabbling in gravel. I used to coach him at Fort Lewis College. He's extremely fast. He's definitely one of the top mountain bikers in the country, and we ended up, I guess you can say, sprinted because we both missed a turn to the finishing straight for the sprint, but he was ahead of me, so he realized that he missed the turn first, so he turned around, and then I turned around, and then he realized he was on the right course, and he kind of just got out of the saddle and jumped me, and by the time I even knew we were at the finish, and got me by like 1 second. So didn't have the opportunity to sprint, but I was very happy with second place, especially considering that 23 out of 160 racers finished. So it was a tough day.
Yeah. Exceptional conditions. It looked like it was the same front that moved through Colorado. Unbelievable amount of snow in a lot of places. Kind of hit you guys too. It was a little warmer out there, but you still started with about 6 inches of snow.
So it was 29 degrees, I heard, at the race start, and it was like sleeting, rain, snow mix coming down pretty good. Kind of start where you just sit in your truck or car until 2 minutes before, and then you don't warm up at all, and you just go straight to the start, and then they say go. And then there was a 7-mile neutral pavement rollout that was just it was like riding in a creek, basically. Just totally soaked head to toe, every piece of gear just completely cold and soaked before we even hit the gravel. And then we hit the gravel, and it was pretty slick and a little bit muddy, and everyone's just dodging for position, trying to get to the front. So that was spicy for sure. A lot of guys, I heard, some big names even, dropped out like as soon as we hit the gravel, just like after the neutral rollout. And the weather was calling for like 55 to 60 degrees, so I heard about so many stories about people just being ill prepared, and there was guy in just shorts, guy in knee warmers, without even like rain jackets. And
so overall, gear really made the difference for you and probably propelled you to the finish line just because you had the right stuff. And I see you brought a good collection of what you wore.
Yeah,
so
it was definitely a combination.
Run through a couple of the things that you feel really made the difference.
Sure. And I think it's worth saying, I ride in the cold. Like, this was just kind of a normal ride for me. Just did Old Man Winter, done Old Man Winter last 3 years in a row. I ride in snow a lot. I ride my mountain bike a lot. So riding in those conditions definitely help. And then I have the right gear to go be able to train in those conditions. So then you go do a race, and it's like, all right, well, this isn't like foreign territory to me. So I was pretty comfortable about the conditions, especially knowing that I had this gear. So yeah, it's all Sportful stuff. This is the Fiandre. This is like their really warm winter glove that I'm absolutely obsessed with, because you can wear it on like a 45 degree day, or you can wear it on a 20 degree day. My hands were completely soaked and frozen, and just once we started climbing like 500 feet of elevation, it turned to snow, and it snowed for about 3 hours of the race, probably a good 4 to 6 inches, and I could still shift. I heard a lot of people saying that they couldn't shift.
Hands frozen.
Hands were frozen, especially with the Di2. The buttons are a lot smaller, and with the SRAM big paddles, the Axis, and this, I never missed a beat for switching gears. So that was pretty key. This is I think they call it the winter cap, and it's This thing I wear every single ride. Basically, it has to be like over 45 degrees for me to not wear this, because even when it's warm, it's like this hat, like it's not like too warm. But the best part is it goes over your ears here.
Looks like you haven't washed that thing
So
since
yeah,
the
it's
race.
a little bit of sweat still on there. But this thing is so rad. My dog actually chewed it here. The puppy got at it. But these two things, I can't even tell you, have gotten me through more rides. Like when your head gets wet from sweat and then you descend in the cold, that's how you get sick. When you lose your hands. The one thing before I go on is, because I looked at the weather, I did not bring booties. And yeah, I had no shoe covers for my feet. So my feet got pretty cold. That was definitely kind of my bad on that. But you know, you just
Something you can fight through.
I'd rather have it be my feet than my hands, for sure. I wore this Rodeo Labs neck gaiter. Always key, keeping your neck warm. And then let's start. So this is the underlayer. It's the first thing I pretty much put on. Super thin, super light, sportful. Just helps with the sweat, just wicking away that moisture, keeping you dry on the inside. And then I did the Rodeo Labs, our Super Giara jersey, which is very breathable, very stretchy, super comfortable. Yeah, this thing's just amazing. Everybody loves it. Then underneath all of that are the Sportful fleece-lined bib tights. So they have the side pocket that everybody likes for your gels and wrappers, but on the inside is this super warm polar tech like fleece, and my legs never got cold. These things are just phenomenal. And then up top, I had a big thermal jacket that I was thinking about wearing, but it's pretty warm for racing, and it is a little bit bigger, so it's not quite as aero. So I opted, instead of using the big thermal jacket, to use two smaller jackets. So I used the Fiandre, I think it's the Fiandre Pro, it's called. It's kind of a mid-weight jacket. It's really good. I think it performs the best around 30 to 35 degrees. Super aero, super tight, very comfortable, stretchy, and breathable. Just drop the zipper, get some airflow in there. Not very waterproof, so I wore the rain jacket on top of that. And this thing's, you have this, you know, this jacket's sick. It breathes so well for a rain jacket, and then it keeps you dry. So those two things, it's super light. You can just stuff it in a back pocket. Doesn't weigh a thing. So the double jackets was really helped me out a lot.
First move, for sure.
Yep.
Well, nice having the right gear, especially from a great sponsor like Sportful. How about bike setup? What were the tires you were running this go around?
So I gotta say, I didn't have one mechanical. A lot of people had different things going on. I never missed a beat with a shift. My brakes were on point the whole time. I ran the Challenge Getaway 40 millimeter, their new tire, which was surprisingly pretty good in the mud and the snow, and just rolls so fast on when it's good dirt and good pavement. So yeah, no flatting issues. Just the bike. No drop chains. No, the bike was flawless. There's one thing I didn't ever have to think about, which is the last thing you want to think about when you can't feel your hands. You know, you don't want to be changing a flat. You don't want to be trying to change a battery.
Yeah, totally eats out battery in 29 degrees. So, I mean, only 23 people finished out of 160 starting. So a lot of it was due to the cold and conditions, ill-prepared people. So how would you rate your preparation for this, even thinking that it was going to be 50 to 60 degrees? You came in with the right gear, right bike setup, obviously fitness, because you took second. So yeah,
you know, the first hour was like a normal race, really. to me it felt like. I didn't feel like the condition, it's gravel, so you're always expecting conditions. It's always going to be hot if it's not cold. There's going to be a section of the course that's really gnarly, so you kind of go into a gravel race knowing that you're going to deal with some kind of craziness. And the first hour just felt normal like that. We got a group off the front. It was a big climb. It was fitness that played a part. You had to be in the right place at the right time. There really weren't any attacks. It was just strongest guys were at the front because they were climbing the best. So my fitness is good. After Old Man Winter, that was a pretty good test. And you do some interval sessions. You look at your numbers and whatnot. But just really I can't say having the sport full gear enabling me to go be able to train in those conditions. To go train, in really cold conditions and really snowy and slush and just crap that most people ride the trainer. And they don't go out in that. And normally I would too, but because I had such good clothing and I can stay warm, I'd much rather be outside. Just having good fitness. Having mountain bike skills definitely helped. The descents were sketchy. They were snowy. They were steep. They were rocky. Pretty confident, in gravel with that. That always is a nice kind of tool in my belt for sure.
Cool. Well, what's the next event?
Open range, 200K in Kansas. Did it last year. Was finished with my teammate John Kavner. We were first and second. We held hands across the finish line. It was super hot. It was in July, I think, or June. It was 100 degrees. One of the hottest races I've done in a long time. So it'll be nice. It should be cooler this year. It's a great course. It's got some single track on it. It's it really takes you out there in this open prairie land. It's really beautiful. It actually has some rolling hills. It's not just pancake flat. It should be awesome. I'm really excited for it.
Cool. Well, we'll check in with you following that race to hear how everything went down.
Thanks, Jake.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, I think.
Have anything in my teeth?
No, you're good. You're not giving us the whole face, are you?